You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Zanna on United States.fm network. Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. This is the final hour, the hour about love. I want just to let you know, it is very sad when I realize more and more what's happening to this country, but also what's happening not just in America, but around the world. You know, one thing really defines for me tyranny is when you have a selective enforcement of the law. When you see that there are some citizens or some human beings that are being pretty much treated like slaves, and there is another caste, let's say another group, like a chosen race, or at least like laws do not apply to them. We've seen this today, of course, in America, when we have people like, the Clintons, that they can break every law they want, and they're still not facing any charges. And then, of course, we see when it happens to people like the Bundys or the people that want to protest and peacefully exercise the First Amendment. Even as a journalist, look at Pete Santilli or the other journalists there in the North Dakota pipeline situation, how they can treat them like criminals. And the sad thing, we saw that before. I mean, the breaking news today is that we have proven through the court of law that these people, that they were somehow treated like terrorists. And in Oregon, they were innocent. They were proven innocent. Meanwhile, they spent 7-8 months in jail, treated like criminals, without even having a chance to defend themselves outside. Posting bail, it's a basic part of our rights, especially when you don't have any previous criminal record. I mean, look what they've done. And then, of course, that's the story of today. A selective enforcement of the law, not just when it comes down to the criminal system. As I said, comparing the Clintons and Hillary and all these other politicians that they completely, they are like gods. And then we have us, regular people, just to try to exercise our rights that we treat like criminals and terrorists. But also when it comes down to immigration laws. I mean, guys, listening to my accent, even after 18 years, today pretty much we are almost at my anniversary. 18 years since I came to America. 18 years. So, I think pretty much I can talk about these immigration laws because I've been living on my skin. And I saw with my own eyes what's happening to this country, how there are different set of rules and laws, even supposed to be for everybody. Now, the reality is this. If you're from Europe, if you want to come to America, even just as a tourist, they treat you like you are complete garbage. That's the reality. But if you are one of these groups that somehow the elite wants here, talking about, people from, let's say, third world countries, that they are good slaves. That's why they want them here. Good to vote, shut up, vote for Hillary or whatever next president is going to be, tells you to do. And don't complain too much. And of course, be part of the socialist agenda. They want you here. Then if you're a Muslim and of course you love Obama, you're going to get also a free pass at, probably at Disneyland. And they're going to give you also a free meal, okay? And this is true. I'm not being sarcastic. Look what happened to all these hundreds of thousands of refugees, they want to call them, that Obama led here. They gave me $1,000 Walmart free gift card, $1,000 out of our own pocket, billions of dollars they've been deprived by our tax dollars and given to these people unvetted with not even a passport. And we have to pay for their lawyers to get the immigration paperwork. Meanwhile, that's where I'm coming right now. I have friends like my friend from Norway that I've been knowing at least since the beginning of the show. This is kind of amazing. He's been on my show since the beginning. Renzo Celani from Norway, even originally from Germany. Even, of course, he's Italian heritage and he still speaks very good English. It's come Italian. But the point is, he was trying to come here to America just yesterday, a couple of days ago, for sharing his knowledge about his skills. Okay, he does seminars talking about, come here and people want to hear him talking. Think about it. It's not like robbing jobs from Americans or doing things that Americans normally would do, like cleaning bathrooms or selling cars or stuff like that. No, Renzo is an original guy, and whatever he has to say, it's him. So people like to hear him talking. He could have done this sort of experience also through Skype, but he wanted to come here, enjoy maybe a few days in Colorado. Guess what? Hard to believe. I got the news today when I thought he was still in America. He texted me through Facebook, and he said, by the way, Luca, I'm back to Norway. How that happened? How fast it was? Guess what? Now you're going to listen from his voice the story, treated like a criminal, and sent back immediately to Norway. By the way, this guy, is the most peaceful guy I never heard. I mean, it's really, not because I'm not peaceful, but my speech is a little more, let's put it this way. I think next time I will go to the airport, if Lorenzo got 1 day in the cell, I may go straight to Guantanamo, according to what things I say. But that point is not about me, it's about Renzo. Let's see Renzo what he has to say in this new experience of America ending with a K, where the rule of law applies only for idiots like us coming from Europe, but for the rest of the world, especially if you're a Muslim or if you come from Mexico, other Southern American countries that you want to vote for socialist, guess what? They treat you completely different. Renzo, are you there?
Hello, Luca. Now we're on the phone because Skype didn't work, but this is much better, I think. So the purpose why I came to America and why I wanted to come there is in June we had a conference in London, and I was one of the guest speakers, and there was Christopher Shade. He's been a guest speaker as well. Christopher is near Denver, and he's got a big company, and he's producing liposoma medicine, we can say. It's vitamin C, it's glutathione that he's producing. So he makes it available for the body in a different way. So we don't need so much of this as in an orally way that we're taking medicine. And so we became friends, and he invited me to come over. And I said, okay, let's have a look. And my other friend, a dentist from England, he made an appointment when it would be possible to meet. And so we took the plane. When we arrived in America, it was a normal journey. It was a normal flight, everything. And then the passport control was just a little bit different than normal.
Renzo, let me ask you something. Mm-hmm. Which airport, the first, let's say, customs, the landing zone, where was? New York? Where did you land the first time?
No, it was Denver Airport.
Wow. So you went straight to Denver from Norway? What is your last European airport that you left?
It was Oslo to London and London directly to Denver.
Okay. So, and my question is, so you arrived to Denver. What time was that? I'm just curious. It was day, night? When did you arrive?
We arrived in the late afternoon, in the evening time, about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. So you were pretty much a little tired but excited, And when did you have this conference that you're supposed to be the speaker? The day after?
It was not a direct conference. That's what they thought that it was because of that meeting, and it's a kind of friendship. And what we did is, when we met last time, so I must say I never had a mail from Christopher, or I did never send him a mail that he responded, or a telephone call in between. So whatever happened is, a friend of mine, he made the contact, and he said, let's fly over. So when we took the plane and we came to the customs, my friend just went through, and when I put my passport to the guy in the Homeland Security, he directly began to make me questions, and the first was, why are you here? And what's your reason to be in the United States? And I said, fun, was my answer, just to meet a friend.
Yeah.
And then he asked me, so it's fun, and so directly it was within 1 minute, he went directly like, who are you going to treat? And I was like, what?
Treat?
I'm going to treat no one. People. If people don't know me, just to introduce myself, my name is Renzo Celani. People in 2003, they found out that I have healing abilities, and it was not me to find out. And so I began in 2007 to work with doctors in the in the United States, in Germany, in England, and so they found out that there was something different with me, so that I could see things, that I could feel things, and I could even do in special labs testings that were not done before. So these people directly my name on the list or something because the questions were so direct on who are you going to treat, are you going to make new products with this guy.
Wow.
You know, it was a direct line to something that was not induced before.
Wow. So they pretty much, let's remind to humanity, because, this is not a secret. You can do whatever you want, in my opinion, when people want your help, okay? And especially, this is like, as I said, for me, it's a private contract. If I believe in what you're doing, regardless, I'm not even want to know now. The point, if I want your help, it's my job and my duty and my freedom to ask for your help. But regardless, you were there to pretty much exercise your First Amendment, to at least talk with people about things that you do. But regardless, the fact that they have a file on you, and, you never been deported, right? I mean, you came to America previously, right or wrong?
I came often to America.
Yeah.
And I've been normal in America and staying there with friends.
Yeah.
Enjoying the time.
Never had a problem like you being arrested or criminal things, correct? And I know that, but I want to just double check, correct?
Never happened before.
Okay. So out of the blue, for what I understand, they start with these questions, very specific questions, like who you going to heal. I mean, like, first of all, they must have a file on you. They must know who you are. That's the freaky things that really freaks me out. I mean, first of all, they got it wrong, in my opinion, for what you were doing there. But regardless, so how did they ended up this conversation? Because normally, I remember that normally they used to ask me questions too when I used to come back from Italy, and that's when you just, the guy standing up behind the shelf or behind the table, and you show the passport, and they say, ask you, why did you come here? You said, for fun. Then I'm sure it evolved, the situation. It evolved to another room. Where did they send you after?
The thing is, the questions were directly from their side. What I did is, I went to America because a friend of mine said, let's go over and visit Chris. Mm-hmm. So we did that, and we took the plane, and I didn't know if there was something, like if there was a meeting, or if there was something that he took some people together for the weekend maybe. So I was out of that story. And maybe there was something or there was nothing, so we didn't know. Mm-hmm. And when we arrived to the border control, then in that moment it was a little bit tickling. The whole air was different. It was like someone has pointed the finger on you directly. Mm-hmm. The situation was that I have some things with, like the mirrors that I'm producing and this in my luggage, but I pick them up in Germany and I bring them to the people when I build them together. I write invoices from Norway. So when I arrived there, I had some stuff with me of these mirrors that we are using for treatment as well. So it is a kind of a reproduction of my healing hands.
One second.
These people began to do the questioning,
Renzo, 1 second only. You say a mirror. I mean,
a little bit something that I never felt before.
Yeah.
So like you said, like you're on a list.
Yeah.
That someone tries to find out and directly bring you in a certain way. The thing is, the whole story. They picked me up. They brought me in a special room where they made the questions, and there was other people sitting. One was from Palestine, and then they picked up my friend as well because he went through the customs, and then he was waiting for me in the front because he didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So then they picked him up as well, and he's a dentist, a well-known dentist in London. So when they picked him up, they checked his luggage as well, like my luggage, and so they picked up some test kits, and everything what they could say was, oh, this is illegal, this is illegal, this is illegal.
Oh,
but everything what we are wearing on our body or what we have in our luggage was illegal things.
Oh my God.
So it was test kits produced from certain companies in England or in America, and they were totally legal. the question was directly, "Oh, you're gonna make some new products, some new medication with this guy like Chris?" And I said, "No, this is not in the plan. I don't know anything about this one, and I don't know if that would happen. But you are going to stay in his lab." And I say, "Yes, maybe. I don't know what the plan is for the week or for the weekend. I had no schedule or nothing to do." And when they asked me, "Who are you going to treat?" I said, "I don't have a schedule. I don't know what's going on. So maybe I'm treating some family members, but this is friendship. So I'm allowed to put hands on people." Yeah, like people ask me, "Could you help me?" Then if I'm able to help them, okay, then I do it. It's some people call it a gift. Some people say something different, but it's nothing that I have learned in school.
Renzo, let me 1 second, Renzo. I need to everybody understand the basic because I want to be sure it's clear. First of all, you had with you in your luggage a little mirror, correct? I mean, it's like a piece of glass. Am I right or wrong? What do you have?
That thing that I had with me is optical benches for America.
All right.
It's a metal plated mirror,
Yeah.
which is like gold, silver, or aluminum.
Yeah.
And in front of that is a pole filter, a polarized filter.
Yeah.
And this all is inside of a mirror holder, we can say. In the moment that you are emitting light, every living being, like a plant or a human or an animal, is emitting light.
Yeah.
So that little mirror, 3-4 compounds, is able to separate chaotic light from balanced light, from linear, polarized light, from coherent light. So in that moment, we are only reinforming the body with its own best.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what is happening with the mirrors. So nothing else.
So let me stop you 1 second because this is so important. I want to understand American people. At what level are we? Regardless you believe or not what Renzo said. And by the way, there is science behind. I've been following him, been really scientific proofs. But regardless, even if you think this is hocus pocus, okay? We are talking about now, we have Homeland Security, where they're supposed to do the real job, stop really the real threats. They start, of course, my opinion, in Washington, D.C. They should arrest the people starting from Obama, but that's another story. They are stopping somebody because they had a little mirror in his luggage, because they are afraid that with this little mirror, somehow, we're going to create a public threat to Americans. This is what is really ridiculous. Seriously. Now, the fact that you said, you're a healer, that's what you do. You heal people with your hands. People may believe it or not, that's fine. But the point is, if I am now in America not allowed to put my hands to another person with his or her consent, okay? Let's say somebody come to me, can you put your hands on me? I give you $50. I'll do it for free, okay, if you're cute. But it's okay. Let's say that I put my hands on you, and now that's a criminal act. Because that's what it is. You're not using any type of chemicals. You're not using any type of drugs. You just put the hands on people. People, they want your hands on them, correct? Am I right or not?
When you put the hands on people and you don't take money, it's no problem. The thing is, what they did say in the end of after the night in the jail and other things, what they've put me, then they said that with the Easter permission to come to America, it wasn't right if someone would have taken for a meeting or something, would have taken money. Even if I wouldn't have taken any money, if I would have talked to the people without taking anything.
Uh-huh.
So I just appear on my own cost. I pay my own hotel. I pay my own flight.
Yeah.
And if there is a group of people coming together that I didn't know before, like 10 people or 20 people, and if they would pay $200 for this meeting, and the hotel cost would be covered for the meeting room and for the food, that is not possible to do, they say. So I needed a special visa. I needed a special permission, maybe, or something else. But you start in Germany. You don't know what is happening. You're going to meet a friend to take some beer and a steak, and to be just 5-6 days together. And so from that view of point, something is wrong.
Oh yeah, and they had a lot of. I mean, the point that scares me out here, they were pretty much accurate. At least they dig a lot of information about you, who you are, what you do normally in your life. I mean, like you're a regular guy, you have no criminal record, and it's like a movie like The Matrix, when they sit you down on the table and agent, what is his name, with the one with the sunglasses, and they start to put all your file of your life in front of you. I mean, that's scary. And you're not even an American citizen. You come from another country. They have all this information on you. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then, of course, we want to talk about being so meticulous about throwing the book at you. Okay, oh yeah, you cannot have a meeting, you cannot have a lunch together, all this stuff. Meanwhile, we have illegal aliens crossing every day by thousands our borders, especially our southern borders, and the Obama administration says, pretty much give the orders to the border patrols to let them go. I mean, that's what is disgusting, okay? They are very meticulous with you. I wish they were half meticulous with the same, applying every rule we have to also all the other people that they try to come here. By the way, you came here with a visa, you came here with a passport, you came here with an airplane, you came here with an invitation. There are people that come here crossing the border and they are not even invited, they don't even have a passport. Let me play 1 second this little part, because I'm still in shock. I'm seriously talking, this is ridiculous on every level. Let me play this 1 second. This is the Border Patrol Vice President. Obama has done everything he possibly can to stop us from doing our job when it comes down to illegal aliens and Muslims. Here, listen. Okay, what happened here? 1 second. Okay.
National Border Patrol Council Vice President Sean Moran told Fox News that Obama's administration is hindering border security.
President Obama has done everything he possibly can through policy to restrict Border Patrol agents from doing their jobs, and it does not make this country safer. It in fact, does the opposite. It makes the border more vulnerable, and we're seeing that.
Moran also said a proposed Trump border wall would do little to thwart committed criminals.
I don't think a wall is going to stop it. It's like being an assassin. If you are committed enough, you are going to commit your crime, and that includes crossing the border. So the southern border is porous enough that if you try hard enough and you are willing to do what it takes, you will get across that border.
Just last month, Arizona Sheriff Paul Babu of Pinal County also said Obama's administration is handcuffing Border Patrol agents.
What we see from this administration, from the Obama administration, is an actual reduction at a time we should be providing more support to secure our border. And we have seen 1,500 Border Patrol agents that are mandated by Congress that are not being hired, and we see a submission of another 300 Border Patrol agents that are being cut. And this administration literally has handcuffed them from doing their job. They have a leader, and Commissioner Gil Kurlikowski, who says that if they don't agree, and our heroes in the Border Patrol don't agree with the Obama administration and this lawlessness that's happening, that they can go find another job. So this is a complete sham. So the fact that the president is saying, well, this is our process, basically it's de facto amnesty, because there's no consequence, there's no enforcement of the law, and there is no tracking of where that person is.
Okay, here I disagree. There is an enforcement of the law. It's called selective enforcement, number one. And it's called, of course, so yes, they also know where the person is from. Look at you, coming from Norway. They know how many times probably you wash your face in the morning. I mean, how many times you drink your coffee. I mean, this is exactly the reality, Renzo. We are living in a bananas republic. We are living in a place that is called tyranny at this point. But when you selectively enforce the law, and by the way, they didn't not even enforce the law with you. They threw the book at you. They threw the book at you. They completely went beyond what the law is supposed to be, in my humble opinion, okay? Because I've been doing this, as a former immigrant, I've been through to these bastards many times. And what they've done to you, it's pretty much, for me, I never heard about that. Seriously. This is unheard. How did you go to your experience at night? Did they give you a good meal, good bed, or did you sleep on the floor? How did it go?
That's a good question. But we must just begin from the beginning. Yes. When I arrived, I was not thinking like doing something wrong. Okay, this is number one. Number two is I did not think about writing an invoice or taking money in my pocket to come back. Okay, so this is another one. So the declaration that they gave is you are not allowed to enter the United States because of there is a seminar going on and other things are going on. So I was not I didn't know about what was coming in the next days. So I expected that there were coming some people together because there were some friends. They wanted to fly in from New Jersey and from other places and from Florida. So when we would sit together, if we would sit together for 1 or 2 days and doing something, that was for me all like a friendship meeting, like a friend meeting, and having some beer and some steaks. So on that point, for me, it was a normal journey, like fun, being with people, like private meeting, okay? In that moment, what they said is, if someone takes money from the public, I'm not allowed to go and to speak, even if I don't take anything. So that was one. In the moment that they checked me, they found my website, they found other things, they took the cell phone of my friend, they found written some things about costs and other things, so they checked everything through. When they took us in the end, there was an FBI agent, I think.
FBI agent, oh my God.
Yeah, federal. And so then he made some questions, and I explained him, I said, hey, listen, I said, whatever question you do, we come all times to the same point. I said to him, the point is, I am not someone that learned somewhere to become a healer. I'm not, it just came to me, and so in that moment I began to treat people. I came into that story because of my father who was dying and all this stuff. So whatever I do, I had a company before, and I sold the company, my part. And so I didn't pick up more than €1 for that part and my money that I've put in the company. So I took my own money out, and I traveled around the world with my own money, and I even gave money to people who had less than me, or they couldn't afford the medicine or other things that were right to take. So from that point, I had no doubt on myself. So this guy then stood up and said, okay, they're going to make you some other questions and make you sign some documents. So we arrived back in the front. Then we had to sit down, and then they said, so we're going to bring you to another place to spend the night. So they took a chain, they put a chain around our belly, and then they got our clothes, the manette in Italian. Is
handcuffs, F-cuffs, like a criminal. They put you the handcuff,
yes, of course,
and they chain like you are a freaking slave. I mean, seriously,
of course.
You are with no record, and I tell you, I'm not trying to be sarcastic. If you are an illegal alien, if they put a chain on you, probably you would have sued. I mean, they would have given you a lawyer to sue back. This is so disgusting. I tell you, I feel disgusted by whoever is doing this. Also for the people that, unfortunately, are the low-level slaves, they're enforcing these laws, that they are not even laws. This is like a selective enforcement. I mean, so you got loaded up like a criminal to another facility with a chain around your belly and handcuff. And they know, by the way, that you are not criminal, as they know that what you do in your country, you're a healer. By the way, you use your hands to help other people. The point is, they know that you don't commit robberies. You know that you're not a violent person. I mean, God willing, probably because we were Facebook friends, I wouldn't be surprised you get an extra 5 points down, I mean, seriously. They should be worried about the real criminals, not like people like you. So where did you go exactly? How far from the airport? Where did they load you up?
Then they took us like take care was for the stairs, and they were holding us, and so they were guiding us and holding us all the time into a van. The van was really low, so you had to go inside, and the vans, you must step up to the van. So in front of that, in Italian it's called a cascia. It's a plastic thing that you put in front of the van like a step. Yeah. That one was just standing there, and it was a little bit dangerous to get on that one, but we managed. So we sit down, and they close the seat belts, and then they were driving like half hour or 40 minutes. They were driving to Boulder,
oh my God,
from Denver. And it was quite far, and then we had to turn around, and then we went into a kind of jail. So there were some of these gates opening and closing behind us, in front of us, and so they brought us inside, and then step here, don't move, and don't do this, and don't do that, and you were not allowed to do a step aside of what is normal. So they took the stuff off. the chain, and then they gave us a room, which was inside was only concrete. So you had to sit down on concrete, and they said, okay, these guys here will not bring you into the department where the other prisoners are, but you're going to stay in the medical department, so you don't get involved with the other guys. Okay, that one was okay. So we waited, and we thought, okay, next half an hour, maybe they're going to give us a room where we can close the eyes and sleep to the next morning. But that didn't happen. That was around 9:30, 9:40 in the evening. And at 2:30 in the morning, we got our bed after taking off our clothes and getting prisoners' clothes. And in the meantime, a friend of mine, he asked the people, like, could we have some water or something to eat? And so they gave us not water, they gave us a paper bag. And inside of the paper bag was like a little box of milk. So I don't drink milk.
Oh my
number
God.
one. And
wait a second.
There was a lemon inside.
Renzo, stop. 1 second before you go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you, but this is disgusting. I mean, you're talking about basic human rights that normally, I think, even in the Convention of Geneva, if you have a prisoner of war, he needs water, you give him water, for God's sake, okay? And you're not even a criminal, because technically you've never been convicted of anything. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and they may have made a big mistake, and they're treating you like probably worse than the freaking hardcore criminal, in my opinion. This is ridiculous. Continue. I'm freaking out. Continue. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't believe it, honestly. Go ahead.
So they gave us this paper bag with this milk inside, and I don't drink milk. Then there was 2 sandwiches inside, and my friend, he is not a Christian, so he doesn't eat all of these meat things, we can say. And inside, next to it was a lemon. I don't know who of these guys in the prison is getting a lemon without a knife, without anything, a normal raw lemon, like picked from the tree. And how are you supposed to eat a lemon in a room where there is nothing else than just a toilet? You can wash your hands
like an animal.
You're sitting on concrete, and it was cold in there. So my jacket, when I asked for my jacket in the airport, and I wanted to put a pullover on, they said, "Oh, wait with the pullover a few minutes." And then I put the pullover on, and then they said, "Put your jacket in the hand luggage." So we didn't know where we were going, if it was warm or cold or something. So I left my jacket behind. Sure. So in that room, it was cold. It was concrete. When you sit down, you must pee every 2 minutes because your bladder gets really, really tight somehow. And even for 2 drops, you must go to toilet. So in the next 4.5, 5 hours, we went to toilet continuously, just because sitting down and not standing around for 5 hours.
And you had no water, meanwhile, right? No water, just a little milk, correct?
Yeah, and then they came, after asking again, then they came with some cups, this styropor cups, this polystyrolo. They came over with these cups, and then they said, you can take the water there. It's drinkable water, so you can drink it from the tap where you're washing your hands.
Oh, great.
Next to the toilet. And so we tried that water, but it was like disgusting. It was chloride and fluoride maybe inside. Oh
yeah, I'm sure they gave you extra medication. If you're in prison, I mean, that's a fact. They test stuff on you. They're already doing this fluoride in the cities. Okay, and chloride and chlorine, with pretty much federal mandates. Imagine if you are in a federal prison or in a prison like that. My God, they would do experiments on you. For God's sake, I'm telling you, this is really unbelievable. It is hard to believe. You were there as a tourist. I mean, my God, continue, because I'm freaking out for real now. I'm not going to travel anymore. Go ahead.
That's what I thought. I'm a tourist going to meet a friend.
Yeah.
And then we end up in jail, and in the meantime, they asked us to come over to another room. The guy was really kind, and he said, I must do this medical check. So he measures us, how high we were, how much we weighed, the blood pressure, and it was perfect, and everything was calm. The pulse was calm and everything. So, Jesus. And then he says, okay, you must sign here because of this and this. And then there was another signature we had to give. In case you get headache or something, then they are allowed to treat you. And I said, I don't give you this signature. And he said, okay, why not? And I say, I don't want any medication of you guys, whatever it is. I'm going to survive by myself. So I didn't sign that document.
Yeah. Just leave me alone.
And,
Send me back home.
yeah.
Okay, let's start with that.
Yeah, of course.
My God.
Just give me a place. Just give me a place where I can close a few hours my eyes, and the next morning this guy should come and pick me up and bring me back to the airport where I can get my plane back home.
Shoot.
So
that's the scary part. You never
yeah,
know.
then we went back into the cell there, into that room, and then after another hour or something, then they gave us some clothes in another room. So we had to get undressed of our clothes. We gave them back like a normal prisoner, and they gave us this prison clothes and for sleeping. So we had to make our bed, and me and my friend, we could stay in one of the rooms. And then next thing was it was 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Every half hour, someone knocked on the door. It wasn't that you could sleep the next 3, 4, 5 hours or something. No, someone knocked on the door. And okay, I lifted up my hand and I thought, oh, it must be 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock when the breakfast is coming. But it was not happening. So it was like knocking, then you close your eyes. It was like knocking, and you close your eyes. And inside of the cell, there was all times this little light on. So it was all times some light on. There was never dark, you know. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, someone opened the door and gave us some food. Okay, breakfast.
What did you eat? I'm curious. What is the Grand Hotel Excelsior? What did they offer you on our tax dollar? What did you get?
It was a little cup of this plastic cups, and it was coffee. But the coffee wasn't warm or wasn't hot or something. It was like a temperature that you don't even wash yourself.
Probably it was dirty water from the kitchen. Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. Then when we opened the plate, it was the plate had a kind of lid, and when we opened the plate, I had to close it immediately and put it aside because it was stinking. It was really, really stinking. It was. I'm sorry for the guys in the kitchen that were doing the job, but it was really stinking, and so I just pushed it aside.
Okay, what did it look like? I'm just curious because we're paying probably $50 for the breakfast. Believe it or not, that's pretty.
What it looked like, from the other conversations we had, I had chicken and ducks and other animals in my garden, and when you give them some food, whatever comes out in the back, that was what it looked like.
Oh my God,
and it was stinking. I tell you, it was somehow that I had to close the lid because otherwise in the room we couldn't stay.
You know what is sad? I think even people that have been convicted of a crime, even of course there are different levels of crimes. Yes, they need to do their time. They need to pay their there's some sort of they need to pay the consequences, but still they need to be treated humanly. You cannot treat them like with eating garbage. Okay, at least give them normal meal. I'm not talking about anything special, but give them something that they can at least don't get in sick, and you cannot treat them like animals. But my point is, you are not even being convicted of nothing. You are still innocent, and I want to remind this to everybody because we didn't have even a trial on you. You didn't break any law. At least you have never been found guilty. So you are there somehow waiting for just going back home in this sort of, let's say, bureaucratic nightmare called Homeland Security that have selective enforcement. And they pretty much torture you. Because number one, I'm not trying to be dramatic, it's true. I deserve to sleep, okay? I mean, if you wake me up every 30 minutes, it's called sleep deprivation. If I do that for a week, you go crazy. That's how they torture people. Sleep deprivation, you're going to go crazy. I know it was just a night, but there was something really was undue. They didn't have to do it on you, seriously. They don't have to do it on anybody, honestly. Even if you're convicted, you stay in prison, shut up, go to sleep, and see you tomorrow morning. Number one. Number two, for God's sake, this garbage that they need to feed you, and that we paid big bucks for everything they give you. This is not like they were getting stuff for free, okay? That's ridiculous. That's really a crime. And give me at least a little freaking water that doesn't stink like a chemical farm. But so finally, what time did they wake you up for breakfast? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, it was around 5 when they get, like 2.5 hours later after we went to in that room, and we found sleep at maybe 3, so every half an hour waking up. Yeah. And at 5 o'clock they gave us this coffee kind of thing, and so then we had every half hour after that we had time to 9 o'clock, and around 9 o'clock someone came and they say, okay, in 20 minutes they're going to pick you up.
Wow.
So they gave us a bag that we had to put our sheets in and the stuff, and like you are making your room, and okay, we fixed that stuff and we brought it out. We got our clothes back, and it took some time, and then we were waiting another hour, an hour 20. But it was in another room with concrete, cold as well, like it was the night before. And then someone came to pick us up. They put again the chain around us, and they fixed our hands. And so going back, like, don't do the step before I tell you, and like criminals. And I said to someone, I said, hey, we are not so dangerous, guys. We're not so dangerous. And someone said to me, yeah, that's why I'm worried. And I was like, okay, if you're worried because I'm not dangerous, then whatever happens,
Oh my God! I mean, this is a psycho all the way. I mean, seriously. I mean.
Yeah. So they brought us back to the airport, and on the airport they had to stay with a car, where they had to stay on the other side of the road of the entry. So then they said, okay, get out of here, stop here. I will hold you by passing on the road, and so they kept our arms, and then we went through into the building until we found a seat where to sit down. So it was like a 4 or 5 minutes walk, and so they kept us like you say, like criminals. And it was not that we were able to walk by ourselves, and then we sit down, and then if you do a wrong movement, like, hey, don't move, don't stay up, don't do this, don't do that, it was like a continuously ordering of things. Okay, they can have some guys which are dangerous or whatever, but if you look at us, there was a dentist who is a well-known dentist, and if I would tell you what the where he's involved with and whatever, the Council of Research in England with a guy called Prince Charles and other things, the history of this guy and whatever should show them that this guy is not dangerous, And if you look in my history, I don't know what they find, but okay, they found something that they didn't like. We got our freedom, if you call it like this. We got it back. Then we asked for a coffee or something else after a while, or for a cigarette, because we are both smokers. And after 2 days, they said, no, it's not possible to smoke,
Of course.
So then, it wasn't possible to smoke before, not after, because from the moment that we have started from London or from Oslo, we were not able to have a cigarette. So they were able to go and get some coffee for us, so we paid the coffee, and they went to get us some coffee, so thank you for the guys who did it. And then in the afternoon we asked them if they could go and get us some food. In between they offered us some food. Some of the guys were really nice, and they offered us some food, even if they were a little bit skeptic about, they were watching left and right what the boss is going to say about it. But they offered us some food, and it was quite okay what we could eat in the airport. And so in the end they brought us after I would say that was like 11 o'clock when we arrived, and then it was about 7 o'clock they took us to the plane, not through the TSA, but they brought us direct to the plane, and then someone gave us a little explanation of why we were in that situation. With allowing us to come to America with Easter. So, but we must say, Italians were the first one to sign a contract with America that we don't need a visa anymore. Okay? Mm-hmm. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
Then after that it was Germany and other countries. So with the Easter coming out, I didn't know what was different for me. That is like a kind of visa that you're going to visit some friends. And that's why I went over. And then they said, if there is something that you are going to talk in a conference, in a seminar, or somewhere else, and if someone of these guys would take some money for that, even to cover just the cost, like $10 here, $10 there, whatever it is, you are not allowed to do that. So before something happened, they decided that this will not gonna happen.
This is the freaky part. You're right. This is like, Minority Report. They make you criminal before even you commit the crime. Let's say, for example, by the way, this is just my opinion. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard, okay? Because as I said, they really we have criminals jumping the fence every day, real criminals, gang members. We have drug dealers, drug cartels in the southern borders by thousands every night. And this is the war, it's about you. That, by the way, you're a great guy, but regardless, they know that you have no criminal record. That's they can find out. Just because you want to speak for a couple of days to a crowd, now that's a crime. But the point is exactly, before, let's say they give you a warning. Let's say, by the way, Mr. Renzo, you cannot do that. But you did not commit a crime yet. You were still, by the way, a tourist flying and going through a customs. And by the way, my humble opinion, I'm not a lawyer. One time I went through something similar like yours, and they start to ask me this question, okay? And you know what I told them? Of course, I have a little edge. I just became a citizen. None of your freaking business, okay? I'm here. I'm back home. Leave me the freak alone. That's what I told him. Of course, I've been held 3 hours in the room with the bad guys, but that's another story. You are there as a tourist. You were trying to be respectful. And unfortunately, I think you gave him too many information. That's my humble opinion. And that's why, we have something called pleading the fifth. Even the freaking Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, the communist, just a few days ago, in front of Congress, she doesn't want to answer about the corruption scandal with the Healer in the emails. She pleaded fifth. That's what you should have told him. I plead my fifth. As a human being, I plead my Fifth Amendment. Scumbags that they are. I tell you, I'm really upset about this one because I cannot believe it's happening, but it is happening. And this can happen to you, can happen to my brother, can happen to our friends, can happen to the rest of us. This is not just for the foreigners. We are treated all the same now. We all treated like slaves. And that's the sad thing. We are all criminals before even we commit the crime. This is the new police, thought police. My dear Lord, help us. Like 1984, it's a kindergarten movie compared to what's happening right now to us. It's nothing. My God, when did you have a chance to get back on your plane? Did you have to pay an extra ticket or you were able to use your own ticket? I'm just curious.
No, then there is a thing that that the airline must pay it, and so they normally take the ticket the way when you normally go back, they change the ticket. So the airline must pay because they allowed you to get on the plane coming to America. And if they don't allow you to come in, then they must take care to bring you back. And that was the only positive thing because I never entered the plane as the first one before the first class. So we were able to enter the plane, the jumbo, before all these first class people and everybody else with the wheelchairs and everything. So we had the whole plane for us, Wow. That was the only thing. But they gave the passport to the stewardess, and they said, well, when you're up, you can give it back to them. So we got the passport about 40 minutes before we landed in London. We got our documents back, and some of the stewardess that we have talked to during the flight from London to Denver, they said, what are you guys doing here? And we said, yeah, we got refused. And they say, you guys got refused?
Yeah.
That's not possible.
Yeah, it is
and
possible.
I said, yeah, it happened,
Yeah.
So that was the thing. But like you say, we were like tourists going to visit a friend, okay? Even if we wanted to give like a chance to people to let them know what we are doing, to bring them on the way, or in that moment, nothing has happened when we arrived.
Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
that appointment wouldn't have happened,
Yeah.
nothing would have happened at all. So why are they treating you before everything is happening like this? So in that moment, I said, like, okay, you get involved in something, even if it will never happen, or the chance is big that it will never happen. You get involved in something, you're a criminal, or you're gonna get treated in a way that is not normal. The land of the freedom it was, but that is no freedom. That's really a difficult thing.
Let me tell you something. I'm here, and I understand like you do, because I live it also right now on this other side. We are right now, for sure, not just today, by the way, guys. This didn't happen just yesterday. It's been a long process. We are no more the land of the free, home of the brave. We are land of the free, home of the slaves. And when I'm saying that, not because I want to bring America down, no, because I want to take it back. because it's our duty. It's our fault that we let it happen like this. The Republicans, they were guilty. The Democrats are guilty. When Bush started all the Patriot Act and all this freaking, Homeland Security crap, and the Democrats continue. Both of us, both parties, have been responsible. It's time to stop, realize, admit it. We have a big problem. We've been taken over. We are under tyranny. And as I said, tyranny means also selective enforcement of the laws. When you realize that there is no more the rule of law, but there is a selective enforcement of the law and more. They throw the book at you if you're just a regular person. They don't just enforce the law. And more important now, with you prove the case. They are breaking the law because they are enforcing laws before even you break the law. For God's sake, if that doesn't make you get, somehow cringes on your back, chills on your back. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. By the way, today's show, I already made it, but I had to restart it again because this is a complete breaking news. I think it's one of the most important things because, like happened to you, Renzo, probably it's happening to thousands of other people. And I tell you right now, the scary thing, it is not just what they do, but how they do it. Because the fact that they were able to get information about you that you never had any criminal record, you never had any type of experience. On top, you come from another country like Norway, and they know so much about you. This is the true proof that we are living a new world order and we are under 1994 on steroids. They can have access everything you do, okay? And I'm sure they're going to listen to this interview, and I hope they can listen very well. Because for the low-level people, they are working for their paycheck. Say, guys, I feel sorry for you. Go find another job. Go sell peanuts on the streets. It's much more honorable. You're working for the Gestapo out there. Homeland Security is the freaking Gestapo. That's my humble opinion. I tell you that. Look at Zanna. Nobody else is responsible. Just me. Number two, for the upper levels who are following the orders from the bastard from Kenya called Obama, the New World Order puppet that is trying to stop people coming from Europe. And all he wants, the selective, people that he wants, that's a shame on you guys. You're following the orders. Guess what? Even on the Nuremberg trial, you follow the orders, you're going to be guilty one day in front of God, in front of the justice system. We will get this country back somehow. Renzo, I'm very sorry because honestly I didn't tell you. I was almost planning to go to Colorado, not by airplane, of course, because I don't want to step my foot on a TSA. But I was going to jump in my Mustang and get out there in few hours, probably 15 hours drive, whatever. But I was ready to come for a weekend. But I'm glad I found out about this. That's kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, because when I left, I wrote you that I'm going, and you said okay, let's have a look how long it will take me, and I was feeling that there would be a surprise that you would come over, like a friend, not attending a seminar that we get paid or something. And
screw them.
Let me tell the other thing. There is like me, a tourist coming over. Okay. The border control stops everybody, Homeland Security. Then they give you the chance to talk, but they only force you in a certain direction. They only search a certain direction. So in that moment, even if they find nothing, they refuse you because there is a problem that they say, okay, we think that if that would happen, what we are thinking, then you are a criminal. So that's one.
Yeah.
Now, you go into the night, into jail or whatever. So they give you the possibility to have a shower there. Like my friend in the morning, he said, okay, they gave us some soap, some soap to have a shower in case we wanted to have a shower. So I said to him, don't take your socks off and your shoes. And he said, what? I'm going to have a shower. I say, don't do that. You don't know what you're finding here, what kind of bugs you're going to bring back.
Oh my God!
So we didn't have a shower. So we gave our stuff that they gave us for the night. We gave it back to them, undies and everything, because we were to undress naked, and they gave us the stuff. So we had to take our stuff again on. So in the day, in the next day that we spent in the airport until the evening that we had our flight back, because there is only evening flights back, we had our stuff on. So from the moment that I left Oslo and I came back to Oslo, I had only my stuff on that I had on, so no chance to change undies or something else. And I tell you, it felt a little bit dirty. It felt a little bit...
It's disgusting. No, it's disgusting. I tell you, I wouldn't treat like that my dogs, okay? My dogs are treated much better, by the way. Listen, I would like to give the chance, just because, for the listeners, to know more about you. You have a website out there. I mean, these scumbags, Homeland Security already know you. That's fine. Guess what? Let's give the rest of humanity to see what type of human being you are. What you've been doing is just something that I tell you, I know now why you're so dangerous. Because you are opening opportunities to people to think, first of all, using their brain and having a chance to understand that there is not just a big pharma mafia out there from the pharmacological industry to find healing. There are other ways, and it's our rights as human beings to find a way how we damn want to heal ourselves. If I want to have somebody putting their hands on me, you know what? It's my right. Screw you, Homeland Security. Don't tell me I'm going to heal myself. Okay? And I don't care if this guy is coming from Mars or he's coming from Norway. It's my freaking right. Okay, now let me give you the floor. You have 1 minute. Give every information how people they want to reach you if they want to reach you. Go ahead.
So my name is Renzo Celani, and there is a website that people can find on the internet. Another thing that came out last year was, I just call it Father. Some people say God, some people say Allah, some people say Jehovah, whatever it is. And I asked a question, and one night I was in the bathroom, in the bathtub, and then there came a picture. So I followed the picture, and then I built some mirrors together. Building that mirrors together, something has changed in my life, because I was nearly dying for 3.5 years. I was really, really, really sick, and I couldn't detox anymore. After the chemtrails came to Norway in a really heavy spraying season, we could say, I got into a rain shower, which was really, really poisoned, we can say. We found out later that 2 kilometers far away, like 1.5 miles far away, it was 3.9 pH. So that was no normal rainwater. Rainwater is different things. And not even in the heavy acid rain time of Germany, when the whole Black Forest got poisoned and died, not even this 3.9 reached that level there. It was 4.7, 4.2, So I got into one of these rain showers, and I got really, really sick, so I didn't recover, and I had to wash my blood 10 times with a special double membrane apheresis treatment to survive for 3.5 years. So when I used the mirrors first time on a patient, I got the same treatment, I found out. And in the same moment, I began to pee different. When I went to toilet, my pee was yellow, orange, stinking, so I began to detox again. So we used it on patients, and the patients had so good results that it was amazing for some people in the medical side. So there is a lot of doctors which jumped on that possibility of treating the patients differently now, and some of them even changed the whole treatment on 80%. From injections, from medications to the mirror treatment. So we can de-stress the body. We can do a lot of things what was not possible yesterday, the day before the mirrors, we can say. And I think that there is a big possibility for the future for the people, but there is even a big change in the medical and pharmaceutical side. I think we're not really welcome in this world right now. I don't know what to say by myself. It's nicer when other people talk about someone than yourself are talking about yourself. But one thing is for sure. Life will change.
I have 20 seconds, Renzo, 20 seconds. I want to bring you back, please. One more time, your website, if you can.
RenzoCelani.com. RenzoCelani.com.
Okay, listen, Renzo, I'm sorry you had to go through this, but I'm glad you're back home in one piece, and we will talk more about this. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. We need to awake when Americans. We are screwed. Simple as that. Okay, we need to take it back. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. We'll look at Zanna. If you want to support the show, you know what? Go to zanna.us. There is my new ebook for $2.99 on Amazon. I appreciate it. That's the way I can put this show out every week without being censored. Thank you very much. Don't go away. Go away if you want. Talk to you next Sunday, God willing. Ciao.